Hi, my name's Chris Turnbull. Thank you for joining me for this session of the CSTA conference on 10 steps to hosting an app design and prototyping summer camp. In this session, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we ran our app design and prototyping camp last summer and give you a few of the tips and tricks that worked well for us to organize our camp and will help guide you to success as you're setting up your own app design and prototyping camp. A little bit about myself here to start with. I'm a personalized learning specialist in a large urban school district in Minnesota. We have one-to-one iPads pre-K through 12 for all 39,000 of our students. I'm also very honored to be an Apple Distinguished Educator, and I'm always looking for how we can leverage the power of our iPads to engage our students as teaching and learning tools. To start with, you'll want to think about your why. Why do you want to organize an app design and prototyping camp? That answer will lead you to your first step of creating a flyer to market the opportunity, to let people know that you're offering this camp, and to help get students interested. Step number 2 of the process is creating a balanced schedule, whether you're setting up a summer camp or an after-school club, or an activity that will run for the entire school year. You'll want to balance the amount of time that students will be spending on screen, on devices, thinking about app design and prototyping, and the amount of activity time that they have available to them off of their devices at home, available to spend with their family on other things. Step number 3 is all about recruiting your students. Whatever tools and communication methods you have available to you to publicize your app design and prototyping camp and to let students know that it is available to get them signed up will be very important in this step of the 10-step process. Step number 4, if you're holding your app design and prototyping camp virtually, then you'll need to select a video conferencing tool. Whatever tool it is that you use in your district for teachers to hold their classes with students during distance learning. If you're holding your app design and prototyping camp in person, then you can skip over this step as everything will be done face to face and you won't need that virtual video conferencing tool. Step number 5 is deciding on what your resource hub will be. Where will you put all of the resources that you use with your students to allow them to come back to those resources later and maybe continue the learning or repeat the process if they're really interested in creating their own app prototypes and working on app design. So something that makes it easy to find for students so that they can get back to your resources on whatever device you have in your district. Step number 6 is thinking about what challenges or opportunities are there in your community that your students can come up with an app prototype for to work on that problem or that challenge. During this brainstorming process, students can think about apps that already exist in the Google Play Store or in the App Store and how they could modify those apps and extend them, give them new features, built in accessibility features to help that app to be more robust and more helpful to more people. Once students have an idea of what the app is that they want to create and knowing that there's a target audience, this is where you can start working on app design, both the user interface and the user experience with students, so that again, they can think about what colors go together, how can they make their app more appealing to everyone, and how can they build in accessibility features to make their app more user-friendly to more people. Also, the placement of buttons on the screen is extremely important in this phase, whether your students are working on a phone app or an iPad app. Knowing where those buttons will be and how easy it will be for the user to reach them is critical to the success and overall opinion of the audience about the app. Step number 8 of the 10-step process is all about getting started building that prototype. If you're using iPads, then you can use Keynote and the magic of hyperlinking buttons and screens together to make it look like Students are creating a working app without needing to know any coding at all. If you're using a Chromebook, then you could use Google Slides or you could use Keynote through iCloud, again, to allow your students to be able to hyperlink buttons to get to different slides to make it look like the app is working. This can also be done in PowerPoint if you have licensing for that as well. Step number 9, now that the prototype is working and you've evaluated how well it functions, it's time to start writing your app pitch so that you can tell everyone about your app, what it does, what its functions and features are, and how it surpasses the competition to be the best app ever. This brings us to step 10, which is holding an app showcase where you have a panel of judges who give students positive feedback about the app prototypes that they've created, how well they work, features that they really love, maybe some additional ideas of other directions or new features, or other ideas for research that students could pursue to make their app even better through this app design and prototyping camp process. That was a super fast overview of the 10 steps to hosting your own app design and prototyping camp. To find out more detailed information, you can go to my blog at bit.ly/CSTA App Design Camp. The blog article goes into detail about how we ran our app design and prototyping camp virtually last summer and in person this summer, as well as much more detailed information for every single step of this 10-step process, including the exact tools that we used, as well as many free alternatives that you might use in your district to help guide you all along the way as you set up your own app design and prototyping camp. Whether you hold that during the summer as an after-school coding club, or in person or virtually, this blog article will help guide you through all of these tips and things that we learned through our process, as well as including these clickable links to get you to these free tools and resources to help set you up for success. Again, you can find that blog article at bit.ly/CSTA App Design Camp. The blog article will take you much more in depth into the 10 steps than we had time to go into in this short video. If you have any questions about the process of organizing your own app design and prototyping summer camp or after school club, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at @TurnbullChris, or again, check out the blog article at bit.ly/CSTA App Design Camp. Thank you so much for your time and interest in organizing your own app design and prototyping camp. And again, feel free to reach out to me if I can be of any help in your process. Thank you.